Hi everybody. So today I'm going to try and do a reading with Minchiate Bomarzo, which I bought recently, and I absolutely love. And I've given it a good shuffle. So I'm going to use my signature spread. I'm calling it my signature spread because I don't know where the spread came from. And I thought I was doing the Celtic cross all this time, and turns out this is not the Celtic cross. So basically, I do 3 above, which is the kind of what's available in the universe for the various situations that I'm looking at. And the central card is me right now. And then the bottom 3 is how I'm responding to the kind of universal energies or karmic influences, however you want to look at them. And then I do 3 past and 3 future. And if the distant future one is a minor, then I might pull a major as well, just to try and get a kind of outcome, a certain outcome. And then the way that I read them is in circles. So the outside of each arm is the sort of biggest picture, maybe like the overriding life path or a larger decision, maybe on a year frame. The central circle, so the second card in each arm, is like a medium near future, a medium near kind of time frame. And often I find that central circle relates to like work, my profession, my job. And then the very central one, the first card in each arm, is usually like an immediate, something that's happened very recently in the last week or two. This one tends to be like a month, the circle, the second circle, and the other one up to, anything up to a year. And then, obviously the card where I am right now. So I'm going to turn them over. And I've got that's a nice card to get in terms of my response. I think it's a nice card to get. I'm going to have to move them out of frame a little bit because of the length of the cards, but I have to say the size of these cards is absolutely perfect for my hands. They're not very big, but they're not very small, and they're very shuffleable, so I'm really enjoying that. Ooh, interesting, I got 3 star sign cards in the inner circle. And then the central card, 4 of Cups. Okay. So, and then I usually map it out on a bit of paper. So I used to do this card with my round deck, the mother piece, and then I'd draw the circles and the cards. So I'll show you how I do that. So the central card is 4 of Cups, and then I will map out the rest of them. So I think I'll just pause while I map them all out. Okay, so I think I mapped it out. So this is my map that I create when I do this spread. And basically you can draw circles. So from the past through kind of karmic influences to the furthest future, like that. And then again, through my own behavior, the way I'm responding to something, and again to the future. So obviously if I look at these and the outcome isn't what I want, you can change your behavior in response to kind of karmic influences. So that's how I kind of work with it. And the same goes for the central one, which does seem in this reading to be to do with my kind of career path. And then the central one, the same. So I'll just tell you what came up. So yeah, central, the Four of Cups, being stability, taking charge of relationships and emotions. So I'm seeing this as a sort of solidity, a kind of stable point. And I'm having to be like that now because of the context that we're in. I'm in a war zone at the moment. It's extremely challenging. So I'm creating this kind of point of stability in the home while we're waiting for, basically we're waiting for the British government to evacuate us. So yeah, that's my stable point at the moment. The inner circle here, Taurus, the bull in the past. So determination, strength, being down to earth, living in the present. It's very much where I'm coming from in terms of the response to what's happening. And I'm having to do that because I have a young daughter, and so I need to be kind of strong for her and for my husband's working like crazy at the moment. So yeah, I'm sort of creating this kind of down to earth and trying to, you know, keep things pleasurable, because Taurus is also very much about pleasure and living in the present. So yeah, and then so yeah, this inner circle is very much about the war situation that we're in at the moment, the situation with Iran. So yeah, the card in the karmic space is the Tower equivalent in the Minchiate. It's called the House of the Devil, and the text for this in the book. So I've got the text for the book for the Minchiate Bomarzo on my phone. And that's where I've been looking up some of the readings. I mean, most of them are similar to the ones we know, but then there are the additional cards which aren't in a normal tarot. So yeah, the text for the Tower, the House of the Devil, says, "Run, girl, get out if you can," which, I mean, considering that I'm waiting for an evacuation flight to the UK, it's just ridiculously spot on. It says... leave behind like self-destruction and guilt and just get out of there. My response on the lower leg of the circle, Scorpio, the text for this reads that does nothing by halves, all or nothing, something hidden emerges. So I'm not quite sure what this is. I guess it's my kind of emotional and fearful response to what's happening. But it is a kind of power card as well, so that kind of seeing between the lines, seeing something hidden is an asset. And then the outcome, the near future, is Leo, being without fear, having courage and strength. I defend what is mine, get my claws out, look after my interests. And then the next circle is yeah, this relates, I think, more to like my work, my professional life. So the past was the Devil. So I'm aspiring to get into a more creative field. So by producing, designing creative pieces, art, and also I'm looking at producing some tarot decks. And this, the karmic things that are karmically available for that. So that's potential, talent for creativity, starting a new project, taking action. So I think the opportunities are there. The response to that is Libra. I love this Libra card, it's really cute. So that's about harmony, proportions and balance. And it says it's not always equal measures that creates the right amount of something. Where do I feel the most satisfaction? And that's definitely in kind of creative pursuits, creative projects, rather than in teaching, which is what I was doing. I mean, I'm still teaching, but so maybe it's just about getting the balance between the teaching and writing side of my life and then the creative. And I have been trying to find that balance recently, so that's kind of my response. The future, though, is the Five of Swords, which is about transition in thought, intellect, ideas, and so on. And I'm thinking that might indicate that I might need to change my mind, or that I might have some frustration, some block, intellectual block in the future. So that's something to bear in mind. On the bigger level, so this is the very outer circle now. So this is more about kind of life path, where I'm going more generally. So the Fargo, it took me a while to figure out who that was because there's no markings on it, but it's the Knave of Swords. And yeah, so this is about learning, about willpower, persuasion in ideas and intellect, sort of willpower around ideas. And then, and yeah, kind of pushing those ideas, I guess. And then the what's available karmically is prudence. So the reading in the booklet says, choose your conduct. Know, I should know myself. I shouldn't deceive myself. Be sensible. Act according to experience. So that's interesting. Don't be foolish. You might appear cowardly, but you're building your future. And it also says it's about knowing when to leave and choosing the things I'm willing to take risks for. My response to that is the world. And again, so this works in the same circle. Enter the world, go far, stand out. Don't be afraid to be part of it. And this is beyond my personal life, beyond projects and goals. It's about building the world with others. So again, I think this alongside prudence might indicate a big life shift, and the outcome, the distant future, is the Pope 2. It says the card is called in this Minchiate deck, and that's the Queen. And she creates, gestates, increases, takes care and protects. She's the mother, so I think very much more mapped onto the Empress. As card number 2. Card 4 in this deck seems to be the High Priestess kind of card, the Popess. Yeah, it says take care and protect. This is mother, fertile soil, nurture projects, and being aware of your power. So there's a sort of mothering outcome, and obviously, yeah, putting my daughter and her well-being first is very much on my mind at the moment. So that is how it works, and that's what it looks like when I map it out. I love the deck. The spread that I've done here, like I said, I used to do it with the mother piece cards, and they were circular, so it was sort of these circles within circles, but it works really well with these cards. I think also because they're quite small, they're relatively easy to map like this, and yeah, and the circles still seem to make sense in the way that they used to make sense to me as well, with the the current situation, the work situation, and then the kind of broader life perspective. And I have to say, I love the inclusion of the astrological cards in this. I do know a bit about astrology. I used to be quite into it, so they make sense to me. the meanings behind them make sense, and they're quite different from you know, the other major arcana, so I don't think I'm going to have any difficulty reading with the astrology cards included in the Minchiate. And then also the other virtues are really, really cool. I love this prudence card, you know, and that came up, that I need to be sensible and act according to my experience. So as the kind of overriding karmic card, I think that's an important one to consider. So that was my first reading. I love the deck, and yeah, this was the card on the bottom. I also like that card. Keeps coming up in a lot of readings for me at the moment. But anyway, lots of coins, very nice. Yeah, so absolutely adore this deck, and I'm going to carry on working with it, I think, for a while now, and get used to the cards. There's a lot of cards to get to learn, so yeah, it's going to be fun. All right, well, thanks for watching, and if you've got any thoughts about the reading, about the spread, about the interpretations, then that would be great to hear. Thanks, bye.